Hey everybody, just got back from court. I got to tell you what, my brother showed up, Chuck Harding, Charles Harding, and Joe Palladino. He came over, picked me up, took me over there, and then Lindsay Palmisano, she was there. And I learned a bunch about Lindsay today and what her credentials are and what she does in life. What she's got going on and her family. Amazing woman, Bonnie Sims. She showed up for me. It was amazing that she showed up, and she was so excited, so exuberant. Lindsay was as well. Joe was as well. My brother was. Gabe, my nephew. My brother brought my nephew with me. My brother was all dressed up. I didn't even recognize him. I was like, "Who is this guy? This attorney? Is he a cop? What is it? What's going on with this guy?" Turns out it's my brother. I don't even know it. So anyways, it was fun. It was awesome to see those guys. And then Devin Ruzinik from Buffalonians Against Excessive Quarantine, he was there as well. So, him showing up, he walked over, he's all bright-eyed, and it's just awesome, And I think that that's really what this is all about, guys. We were all talking about our families, our loved ones, our relationships, our friends that we have, people in our workplace, our coworkers, our doctors' offices, our doctors, our nurses. And we're talking about how all of these people have lost their minds collectively. They're not listening to the science. They're not listening to the case studies. They're not listening to the other countries that have dealt with this in a much more effective way. They're not listening to the states. I post this how many times, guys? People are people. Viruses are viruses. This virus is this virus. Nothing is different from country to country, state to state, county to county. It's the same, but they want you to think it's different. They want to treat everybody the same when it comes to these measures that are completely and utterly oppressive and repressive. Strip you of every single one of your rights. They want to treat everybody across the board the same that way when they're going to deny you your civil liberties, your basic human rights. But when it comes to looking at the science as a whole, when it comes to taking a look at all the facts, all the documented evidence, how people have handled this throughout the world, throughout this country, they don't want to look at it collectively. They want to look at it individually and say, our situation is unique and different. Explain to me how it's different and unique. Are the people different? Is the virus different? Do you have stronger immune systems? Explain to me exactly how is it different. And they can't. Their response is always what? It's just different. Well, are there more cases? Well, no, there's no new cases. Are people dying? Well, no, nobody's dying. And this is the level of programming, conditioning, and indoctrination and brainwashing that has taken place in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our stores, our store owners, our government agencies, our families, our friends, our doctors' offices, our schools. This is how easily it is to manipulate people and to hide the truth. So we're talking about it, and Bonnie, her husband, he's completely against, what she does, which she stands for freedom. She stands for civil liberties. She stands for humanity. She stands for fundamental basic human rights that most of these other people on the other side say they stand for, but they don't. None of those people that say they're standing up for basic human rights, they aren't. How can you possibly sit there and say you stand up for basic human rights and you're telling people they're going to have to be mandatory vaccinated? They're stripping them of their medical freedoms. You're putting bills out there that are stripping parents of their rights. You're putting a bill out there, literally a bill that awards Cuomo the right to remove you from your home for any reason that they deem a threat. You think I'm lying? I posted it on my page. That is one of the bills of the over, I think, 900 bills David DiPietro said that were introduced. Over 900 bills were introduced this cycle. All of them pertaining to lockdown measures and forced and mandatory vaccinations, and stripping your freedoms and your rights and giving them to Governor Cuomo and politicians. You know, if you want to think that this stuff is conspiracy, look at those new bills that are introduced. If you want to think it's conspiracy, look at other countries and how they haven't had a single case in months. They were done months ago, all across the world, all across the country, done for months. No mask measures, no social distancing, no lockdowns, no shutdowns. Here we are in New York State, 6 months, 7 months after the fact that all of our freedoms were stripped from us. And we are still shut down. And Cuomo is saying that they're going to shut down small restaurants again. Now, I've got a meeting at Raphael's next week, August 31st, 5:30 p.m. David DiPietro is coming. Several other local business owners are coming, restaurant owners. You better get your butt there, because I'm going to tell you how we stop this at that meeting. I'm going to go through in detail how we are going to stop this and protect your restaurant. If you have been complying with these orders, thinking to yourself, as long as I fly below the radar, I'm going to be okay. That's not the case, guys. They don't care about you. They didn't care about you before. They don't care about you now. You know who wins? Who wins are the people that stand up. All of the people that stand up and fight. There was a church here in Erie County. That pastor stood up, $1,000 fine. He had the courage to do that. They haven't harassed him or bothered him once. Businesses that didn't want to force mandates. Jim Amigas down in New York won that case. They stood up for themselves. Different mandates associated with this lockdown, the measures that have been put in place, that people fought, they stood up, they won. All it requires is standing up and doing something, having the courage to do something. Now, is it a big deal for me to stand up with this mask issue and this mask deal? No, it's not. Could I have brought my attorney in for $2,500 and have it all resolved? Yeah, absolutely. Is there going to be any media outlet that's going to cover this? Nope, not one is going to cover it. So we ran a live when I went there today on Lindsay's page. Lindsay's amazing, by the way, guys. She's U.S. Custom. I mean, she's amazing. And she was there. She's got some children and just an awesome woman, Joe Palladino and my brother being there. So I said to everybody, they go, what do you want us to do? And I said, really, all I want to do is document everything that happened today. I want to make sure that we know that I was here, because the suggestion was that they were going to arrest me for failure to appear if I didn't wear a mask or come with an attorney. So we documented it all. Devin was recording, Joe was recording, and Lindsay put it on live for the first time. Lindsay, I helped her figure out how to do the live. Now I'm an expert, but I wasn't an expert like 6 months ago before Restore Constitutional Freedom when I got on there and Autumn and Taylor asked me to do the lives because everybody was like, I'm not doing a live. So and we ended up doing that, and I wanted it recorded. I wanted it documented that I was there, and that they couldn't put that failure to appear. So I walked in, and both officers, extremely friendly. It looked like there was either a sergeant or a lieutenant that was standing there, and very friendly as well. And they're like, look, you can't come in without the mask or an attorney. We're rescheduling this, And I said, well, yesterday you talked about it being a failure to appear. They said, no, that's not the case. They're going to reschedule this again. You're going to have to show up with a mask or an attorney next week, or else you can't get in. And I said, well, then what's going to happen? I says, if I come in and I don't have a mask then, and I don't have an attorney, then what's going to happen? And they go, well, we don't know. And the one guy, the one officer, he may have spoke out of turn. He's like, well, they'll probably adjourn it. And which adjourn means not dismiss. And he may have been using the word adjourn in place of dismiss. So I don't know what he meant exactly, but they said that it'll be adjourned, which would mean that they would probably wait another week. Now, at that point, I'm going to need legal counsel. So if anybody out there has an attorney that is good, that can provide legal counsel to say, hey, I've showed up and appeared at this many court proceedings, because now I've been there on 3 different instances. No problem, Stephanie. I just love the fact that you were able to, that you were offering to be there. And guys, I want to thank every single person that offered to be there with me today. You have no idea what that level of support means. To see those words come across. I mean, guys, what you mean to me is incredible. Every single one of you guys, what you mean to me is absolutely incredible. And everybody who offered their prayers and their positive thoughts and their words of encouragement, guys, and everybody who just kept me in their thoughts and didn't even think about it, it's just invaluable. I mean, I am so blessed, and I treasure, and I'm so honored privileged to be able to have you guys have my back. Those 5 people and my nephew, so 6, those 6 people that showed up today for me, and then all of you that wanted to show up, I mean, it's immeasurable. It's absolutely immeasurable, invaluable. And so many other people wanted to be there and they couldn't, and something came up and they happened, and they said, Pete, just please let me know what happened. And they're offering their words of advice, saying, hey, do this, try this. There are some things in life, I've done a lot of things that are wrong. A lot of things that are wrong and not good. And I'm never going to sit here and profess to be innocent, ever. I'm never going to be that person. You guys have heard me say how many douchey things I have done to so many people, and I'm never going to be that person. But you try to learn from what it is that you're doing, and you try to be a good person, and you try to personify and embody that as you're out and exemplify that. And, through this process, seeing you guys, all of you guys, and how you support me and how you encourage me all the time, that's just inspirational. It's just beyond a level of connection and a depth of a relationship. That's where we all should be. That's where we should all be as much of the time as we possibly can be. And I think that a lot of us have lost that. I think a lot of us don't know where to go. Even the people that are patriots that are in this movement right now, that we don't know how much they need us and to reach out. And, just whenever you can, offer those words of encouragement. Like those pages, send the love on the note, send a note saying you like this for this reason. Just put a comment in there. Seeing those comments mean everything to me, and it means everything to somebody else. Just take that minute and do it, And the fact that Lindsay put together this protest that's going on for human sex and sex trafficking and pedophilia, and she did that all on her own. She saw that there was a national walk going on and nobody else supporting her. So guys, I just want to finish with what I said. I went to court, and so they said I need to come back, that they issued another reappearance ticket to come back next week, that was going to be mailed out to me. So I'm going to have a couple of people there with me next week as well, videoing it and documenting it. But I want to get in touch with an attorney that will say, okay, hey, you showed up this many times and they won't let you in, then they need to dismiss. It's an automatic dismissal. I'm documenting that I have been there. These guys know that I've been there each time that I've been there. So now it's 3 times. We'll see how many times I need to go in while they're still maintaining I need to have a mask on there. David Stevens is the judge who is maintaining, and this guy might be a good guy. I don't know anything about David. But with regard to this, he doesn't know the incident. He doesn't know me from anybody. He just knows that I am the mask guy. It's not about a mask, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that accomplished, and I'm not that bright, but you take a look, and I've done some things. I've done a few things, and, it's not just about a mask. This is about everybody's rights. And standing up for this and, and putting a line in the sand, guys. All I'm going to tell you, if you don't believe me, go take a look at every single one of the bills, the 900 bills that were introduced in front of the Assembly and the Senate this cycle. Take a look at them, see what they say. I've put most of them on my website, on our Facebook page, so you guys are free to review them. This is no longer Orwellian. They're talking about vaccinating your kids with Gardasil for no reason, without your permission. They're talking about adult vaccination schedules, and if you don't take them, you're not going to be able to go shopping, you're not going to be able to go to events, you're not going to be able to go to concerts, you're not going to be able to do any of that stuff. We're not just talking about a COVID vaccination at this point. We're talking about a massive vaccination schedule. Who benefits from that, guys? Who benefits from it? There's only one reason, and one reason alone, that these vaccination schedules are so important to politicians in this state and others, and that's Big Farm. They make all that money off that stuff, guys, all of it. The politicians are paid off, and they're going to do everything that they can. Some of these politicians that are in office are married to people who are on the boards of these different pharmaceutical companies. Or they're related to people on these pharmaceutical companies. And people are like, oh, that's a conspiracy. It doesn't take anything if you think it's a conspiracy, there is something seriously wrong with you. You are in a state of denial that you cannot recover from. All of these vaccinations are coming in, and all these forced and mandated vaccinations are coming in to benefit us. We were fine for all of these years without them. Fine. Just talked to an OTPT. Bonnie's an OTPT. She said, when I first started, she goes, we had nobody that had autism. Nobody. She goes, 20 years later, she goes, the entire school has autism at some level in the spectrum. I mean, what do they say? Correlation doesn't equal causation. Oh, you can't make this stuff up, guys. That level of deniability, it's got to be amazing. The money that's transferred hands from Big Farm to politicians, from Big Farm to government, from government to Big Farm. It's documented. There's one reason and one reason alone. They are taking every opportunity that they have to exploit this, to mandate that we are going to get shot up and poisoned with everything, with these vaccinations. And that's why the masks are so important. That's why fighting the masks are so important. That's why everybody that's fighting the masks at this point, they're fighting for you guys. They're fighting for your freedom. Nobody's getting it. Nobody is getting it. Walking around going, nobody. It's done. Like it's basic epidemiology. It's fundamentally so simple with viruses that the people who are the experts that aren't on TV all the time, they're losing their minds. They're like, what happened? Because common sense and science and facts and data used to dictate, but now all of a sudden it doesn't. It's completely different. So I just wanted to report on what happened today. Nothing really crazy. Again, it was my brother, Chuck Harding, showed up. My nephew, Gabe, who showed up. Charlie was all dressed up. I'm like, who is this guy? Is he a cop? Is he a detective? Is he an attorney? And then I was like, oh shit, it's you, bro, So, and Joe Palladino came and picked me up, which was awesome. And then, Lindsay Palmisano was there, and Bonnie Sims was there, and Devin Ruzinek was there. And, just seeing all of their faces was just absolutely incredible. I mean, that level of support, that's what I wanted to talk about. And just in closing, that's what this is all about, really, at the end of the day. And this is why you hear me talk so much about mindfulness and awareness and connectivity and relationships. Because at the end of the day, that is how we fight this. It's not mystical, guys. We fight this through connection and love and support and nurturing one another. And I don't know how many times in your life you've had somebody stand up for you, but I've had those times where people have stood up for me, and it feels absolutely incredible. Like that level of warmth and compassion and security and safety that gives you, it's just unbelievable, you know? And when it's people that aren't even your family that do it for you, like it's just amazing. You know, like John just came on right now, you know, and I haven't seen John. Hi, John. You know, John, every time I see him, love in his eyes, would do anything for you, jump off a building. And today, you know, with Lindsay and Bonnie and Devin and Patty's on now, and Patty offered, and Courtney offered all of her support, and Chuck, my brother, you know, and Lindsay being there. It's that same feeling. Like they would do anything for you to help you to be there. They had their job, they had everything that they were doing, and they took the time to show up or want to show up and offered their words of encouragement and advice. When you're on a team, and so many of us aren't able to be on a team or haven't been able to be on a team, you know, it's even more than family. You know, when you're in the military, it's even more than family, because you are involved with these people every day. So you have a choice. You either all get along and you support one another, you do whatever you can. There's always going to be the people that have the differences. In the military, it's the same thing. And I wish that people had that opportunity to be involved with those types of things so that they could feel that kind of network and that support and that love and that compassion that you get from being involved in those types of things. Being involved in this group here, in this movement with the Patriots, it's just unlike anything else. You know, you just feel the heart, and you feel that passion, and you feel that affection, and you feel that adoration, and you feel that love. And we're all misfits, guys. Like, I'm a misfit. We are all misfits. Like, make no mistake about it, no matter what. But they are too, on their side. And they're even more alone, and they're even bigger misfits than we are. But we come together in this group of people that I've been so privileged and honored to meet throughout this, and to become a part of your lives, and to make what matters to you in your life matter to me, and you make what matters in my life matter to you, has just been extraordinary. And we can't be there all the time for one another. We know that we can't be there for one another all the time. But when we can, we're there for one another. You know, and when it comes down to everybody, and sometimes, Nancy Orticelli and Nick Orticelli and, Taylor Zablonsky and Autumn and, everybody that's been coming out to all of these protests with us, and just Gay Thompson, and Jen and Gina Kay, and getting to know all of these people and becoming family. And yeah, we all do stupid shit, but we're there to pick one another up when you do that stupid shit. And you're not there going, I hate you. You just pick your hey. That was kind of dumb, man. What were you thinking there? I get it, but it was kind of, I've done, they were calling me out last night. Carla Underhill, sweetheart, friend of mine. She was like, Pete, what were you doing? I'm watching these videos of yours going out, and oh my God, what was more crazy than the other? But knowing you guys, that I was helping you guys and being out there, and knowing that I'm fighting for you guys, and knowing that you're there fighting for me, that's what this movement is about. Make no mistake about it. We've gone to church, right? We've sat in church, and you're just completely disconnected from what's going on at church. And maybe you're blessed enough to be a part of a congregation that is great, because those are out there. But most of us don't have that. Most of us sit alone at home. And that's why I'm talking all the time about friends and family and making sure you're networking and staying in contact with one another. But this group here, the level of love, the level of support. I can't thank you guys enough. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, you're there supporting me and supporting everybody that's there with us. So I fight for everybody. That why I do what I do, I'll put my neck on the line. I don't care. It's fine. I don't want to be reckless. I mean, I guess by every definition it would come across as reckless. But there are certain things when you know. I've been blessed and gifted in this life to be able to make decisions on the fly, on my feet, very quickly. And you know when things are right, your moral compass, the fortitude that you have, you know when it's right. You know when what you're doing is virtuous. And and moral. And you go ahead, and there's not even a question in my mind. It's like instantaneous. Just go ahead and do this. And I used to let the destroyers bring me down. I used to let those narratives and those words that people would say, oh, that's dumb. Why would you do that? That's stupid. Why would you do that? Or whatever. And they might not even realize that they're tearing you down. But it does. And it impacts you. And throughout my life, I haven't let. I've been very blessed with selective hearing and letting it bounce off, and then not letting it stick. But every once in a while, when you have somebody in your life that really means something to you, that they say something like that, sometimes it sticks, and you can't help it. But you do it anyways. And it always helps when you have people that support you. And you guys have been a huge source of support. And I'm going to continue doing everything that I can do. I'm going to fail, though. I'm one person. I'm one dude. And there is no doubt about it. I am going to have failures. I'm going to have missteps. I'm going to make mistakes. And I just know that. And if you're there supporting me, then it's okay. I'm going to be able to pick myself up. I'm going to be able to dust myself off. I'm going to be, okay, let's go. What's the next thing? Let's do the next thing. Let's learn from this and let's be better. And that's what you guys bring to the table for me. And I'm so grateful and so thankful. So next week we'll go to court. We'll see who comes down with me. I'll do the same exact thing. I'll videotape it because I want it on video, but then I want it on Facebook Live as well. And we'll record everything. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping by next week I'll have an attorney involved that can help. My attorney, Jason DePasquale, amazing guy, extremely intelligent, love talking with him, knows law inside and out. He'll probably be a judge here, in the county. If he wants, he probably makes way more money not being a judge, so he may not want to be a judge. But just extremely intelligent. But it's the principle at this point. It's $2,500. They already stole $300 from me. They stole my vehicle. They rifled through my stuff. Wrongful arrest. They cost me time that day. Mm-hmm. They cost me so many things that day. They've cost me so much time now. Now I've had to go to court 3 times. This is the 3rd time I've had to appear in court at this point. And they're going to continue delaying this and delaying this and delaying this. So my businesses that I run by myself they're on hold. The whole morning was on hold. Yesterday was on hold. Last week was on hold. I don't think about it and dwell on it, before or after the fact. But somebody else might, and it's wrong for them to do it. Charlotte, a friend of mine, we met a couple of years ago. Car was broken down, and I pulled off to the side and I helped them repair, the tire on it. We got going. We just got to know each other. Now Charlotte's at dialysis this morning, and Charlotte has Vicky, her daughter, and she's a whole bunch of other kids and grandkids, whole situation. But even Charlotte offered to be there with me today, going to dialysis. She says, I'll be there with you. And, people ask me, they go, Pete, why don't you just wear the mask? Just wear the mask. And I go, because it's not right. It's not right to force somebody to wear a mask for any reason. And it's not right to strip anybody of any single one of their liberties that they have. Now with this specifically, there's going to be a lawsuit against Cheektowaga and the law enforcement officer that did this. And his name is Officer Jay Doskes. And they say that he is a good officer, but he did a bad thing. And these officers, not just in this town, but in towns all across the county and across the country, they all do bad things every day to good people. And, you know, there are different things that need to happen to make sure that that doesn't happen so the people are protected. And I already have those plans in place that we can get those measures implemented. But in this case specifically, what Cheektowaga loves to do, they love to arrest people. And then people that don't have means to defend themselves, they put them through court and, you know, the motions and everything else. And, you know, Class B misdemeanor, Class A misdemeanor, because they have a public defender that's there. And then you know, the arrests aren't reviewed, which every arrest should be reviewed for validity. It shouldn't be the case that the arrest ascends up to the DA. Every single officer's arrest should be legitimately questioned and reviewed for validity. Look, it's very simple. Let's take a look at the case. It's simple for them to arrest you. It's so simple for them to arrest you for whatever it is. It's as easy for somebody else, an outside agency, to review the arrest. And every officer should be held accountable. If you wrongfully arrest somebody, you better know what you're doing because you are screwing up somebody's life. And if it's valid, then you don't have any concerns. And now when you're held accountable, fewer people are going to get arrested. And fewer people are going to be wrongfully arrested. Because if an officer wrongfully arrests somebody, first thing is suspension, automatic suspension. Second time they do it, depending on what happened, removal. And if it's criminal, if it ascends to the level of criminal, then they're prosecuted accordingly. Same thing with body cams. If you have a body cam on, if you turn it off for any reason as a law enforcement officer, suspended instantly. If you turn it off a second time, you're removed. You want the things to work out in favor of the people. That's what you do. So my attorney, Jason DePasquale, said that, you know, after this, let's go through the whole process. Afterwards, you definitely have a case. They took your vehicle. They went through the contents of your vehicle, which they didn't have a right to do, and they arrested you wrongfully. The officer and Cheektowaga Police Department allowed that to happen, and the Cheektowaga courts, you know, in the Erie County DA's office allowed that to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's how I'm going to try to hold them accountable. So that's everything. That's what I have today. I know it was a long one, but I wanted to cover it, and there was a lot of information. I do want to say again, guys, I'm going to share. Lindsay was amazing, and what we need to do is get as many people out to August 22nd. That's this Saturday, 11 a.m., downtown in the city, Spot Coffee on Elmwood. I'm going to meet Lindsay at 10. She's asked me to speak at 11. I'll do that. I'm honored. I'm completely honored. That makes me feel amazing. But I'm going to be there with her the entire time. She took it upon herself to do this. She's a family member. She has a job, full-time job with the government, very good job, and she works hard. And she just trying to get this information out. With the job that she has, she sees it happen every day. So the people that sit there and say it's conspiracy, it doesn't exist, she's on the lines, just like Bob. Bob was on earlier on my page. You know, Bob shared a lot of information with me, and, you know, and he's like, you know, and I can't share it. I don't want to divulge it, but, and I can't divulge his position, but it's, you know what I mean? You can't deny this stuff. This stuff is happening. And, you know, with Lindsay seeing it every single day, and then to have people tell you, it's conspiracy, that's a lie. It makes you insane. How do people not care about kids? How do people not care about women? How do people not see the videos on YouTube of all the stories, the agony that these people had to endure if they get out of it, if they're fortunate enough to get out of it? Because most of them aren't. Most of them are stuck in it. So, you know, come down August 22nd. I'm going to share it again. I'm going to share it in every group. I'm going to be for Lindsay today. I'm going to share it in every single group so that as many people know to get their butts down there. Spot Coffee, Elmwood Avenue, the one that is near the Lexington Co-op, that end there. So it's closer down towards like Delavan and Lafayette. It's Lafayette. I can't remember anything. West Ferry. We'll say West Ferry and West Delavan. It's closer to that. Get down there and be there and help support this cause, because that cause extends past party lines. It extends past religious lines, ethnicities, nationality, all of that. So Saturday, August 22nd, 11 a.m., we'll be there marching against pedophilia, sex trafficking, and human trafficking. We're going to meet at 10. Bring your signs. Keep your signs specific to the cause. And, let's leave political signs out, guys. We want to be as together as we can be. And this is an opportunity for us to come together. Enjoy your day. It was awesome seeing you guys. Again, every single person, I mentioned so many names, but guys, I love every single one of you so much for all the support that you gave me. That was just incredible and amazing. Enjoy your days. I love all you guys. Love seeing you all. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.